Hello. As you probably know, I'm Reason, and we're going to be talking about repair biotechnologies very quickly. We reverse atherosclerosis, and we're presently in the middle of raising a round. So, as a reminder, atherosclerosis is probably the biggest problem ever. Obstructs blood vessels, kills people, a lot of people, and the therapies we have today do not get rid of this plaque, this fatty stuff that grows in your arteries. We have a therapy that does. Lipid nanoparticle mRNA therapy that in mouse studies dramatically reduces plaque very rapidly. The treated mice do a lot better. The mechanisms are a little complicated to go into in 5 minutes, but it's not just plaque regression. We dramatically improve liver health, dramatically improve metabolism, dramatically reduce a lot of problems in the body. It's a very applicable therapy to a great many conditions of aging and obesity. This past year, we had a successful FDA meeting and we obtained orphan drug designation for a rare form of atherosclerosis as our first way forward to the clinic. But let's talk about some recent updates here. Of note, recently, this is very new data that came out just from one of our long-running studies. The drug we use has a very long-lasting effect. It is, in fact, repairing a form of damage. You do the treatment, and then afterwards you get a sustained benefit. And in this case, the sustained benefit we're measuring is increase in exercise tolerance. The mice that are treated do way better on a treadmill than the mice that don't. And these are mice that started out with severe atherosclerosis. Also of note, we completed a safety and feasibility study in cynomolgus monkeys. It's safe. The human drug worked great. It produces the same changes in metabolism as in mice. This was a very promising study. We've added two impressive new figures to our advisory board of late. Deepak Bhatt has been a very long time investigator in cardiovascular disease, and Frederick Rahl is a very important figure in the homozygous familial hypercholesterolemia field. This is a rare form of atherosclerosis. Both of these figures are very intrigued by a way to reverse atherosclerosis. In the clinical world, this is the holy grail. If you can do this, you will attract everyone's interest, and that is what is going on as we add these key opinion leaders to our advisory board. We're in the middle of raising a Series Seed B. We've conducted a first close of $5.25 million at the end of last year, and we're seeking 11. So if you're interested, this is your chance to follow smart money and do some good in the world. Looking ahead beyond the immediate. In the very near future, the next year, we're looking at closing the Series Seed B in a couple of months, publishing a scientific paper to place our work in the context of existing work on cholesterol. We're conducting our GMP manufacturing. We'll commence a Series A roadshow sometime this year. And establishing a pharma partnership is very high on our list as well. And of course, after we have our GMP batch, we will be going into IND enabling studies, money allowing, late this year. Looking beyond that, the HoFH indication, homozygous familial hypercholesterolemia, gives us the fastest possible path to a clinical approval and proof of concept in patients as soon as possible. And bear in mind that successful cardiovascular companies never go all the way to approval before they get acquired. They get acquired pretty much immediately on having human data is the usual outcome, and at very high valuations, because cardiovascular disease is a very expensive problem to have. Beyond just cardiovascular disease, as I said, this is an approach that can be used for many different forms of disease, age-related and obesity-related. The one we have data in metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis showing that we are far more effective than any of the existing drugs under development. And in the one drug that's actually approved, we are very interested in neurodegenerative conditions. That includes retinal degeneration as well. And that is something we plan to work on at a preclinical stage this year as well. So it's a very big therapy, a very big pipeline, very many opportunities. So I'll halt there and happy to take questions. And of course, we are always interested in talking to investors who want to follow on after the smart money, as I said. And with that, thank you.
Nice. Thanks, Reason. Pretty exciting. And I think I'll say that Repair is one of our recent investments. And one of the very exciting thing what we have seen is the kind of data they have generated recently. It's very rare to see a consistent and robust data across multiple models of atherosclerosis. They are notoriously difficult to generate proof of concept. So seeing something positive and similar result in non-human primates is very promising and kind of de-risk the biology here. So very interesting. Congratulations on that. And also a very positive FDA pre-IND meetings, which looks very positive. So we think like it's all set to go into clinics. And hopefully we'll have a breakthrough result there. I would like to understand a bit more the pipelines you mentioned there, and maybe expand more on what is the potential of this platform, cholesterol degrading platform, beyond just cardiovascular space. More elaboration on that. And the other thing, question, which I think is important to understand, based on the current standard of care, how do you see this as a patient? If I suppose I'm a patient, why would I be taking these therapies? And how does you see the combination with the standard of care, which is out there?
So ultimately, where we would like to be is you as a patient will be taking this therapy because your doctor will be telling you you're an idiot if you don't. That's the place you want to be in, which is the place you're in with statins right now, right? Your doctor will tell you you're a fool if you're not taking statins. And unfortunately, statins just don't have a very large positive effect. Ultimately, we see a world in which our therapy would be used intermittently throughout later life. You'd say once every 5 years if you're a normal human being, once every 1 year if you have a mutation that accelerates your atherosclerosis. And then in between, nobody's going to stop using statins. Everybody who can use them and PCSK9 inhibitors will continue to use them to slow down the progression of atherosclerosis to the degree that those therapies are capable of doing that. But our approach will be doing the heavy lifting of ensuring that you don't, at the end of the day, grow plaques and die. The application of this class of therapy beyond what we do with atherosclerosis is very, very broad, precisely because the excess cholesterol that accumulates in some parts of your body more than others, or everywhere if you're obese, that excess cholesterol is just a cause of harm. It is outright harmful. It's a form of damage. So every condition where you see this disruption of cholesterol metabolism leading to local excess, it happens in the brain, in the pancreas for diabetes, in the liver for liver conditions, and just everywhere. You'll find it contributing to every condition. The only question is, how big is it as a cause? And if you look at Alzheimer's, there's a whole line of thinking that is pointing towards lipid metabolism and its effects on microglia and the inflammation in that condition. And it's a very important sort of unexplored area because nobody could really get at what you need to do, which is clear out that excess cholesterol.
Very cool. I see there is a question in chat box. So does Repair Bio have SPVs for smaller angel investors? Or is it only for VC large ticket? So maybe Reason, you want to comment on that?
We are traditionally very angel friendly, so reach out is what I'll say. I mean, obviously we like more money rather than less money, but we come from a very small investor, angels heavy background, and we like to give small investors the ability to get into deals that they would otherwise, be excluded from.